right, guys, so let's go specifically and look at things that are conductors and insulators of heat or thermal energy, okay? So, heat always travels from a warmer area to a colder area. So, for example, if you put hot soup just maybe on your counter and you leave it there, the heat is going to leave the bowl and it's going to escape and you're going to lose that heat, all right? It's going to just go through the bowl and into the air. You're going to lose that heat energy. Okay, so temperature. In order to know how hot or cold something is, we measure its temperature, and it's measured when we do it science, then it's always in Celsius. Okay, we use the metric system in science. A thermometer is the instrument you're going to use to measure temperature, and they tell us how hot or how cold something is, and I like to say that a thermometer measures thermal energy. So it's really measuring the amount of heat in something. Okay, so some examples of insulators, some things that would not let heat pass through them. So these are things like wood, plastic, you've got certain fabrics, you have cork. These are going to be good things. So like if you're cooking and you have a metal pan, a lot of times you have even rubber, or I've seen wooden handles on them so that when you grab that pan, your hands don't burn, okay, because it keeps that heat inside and not escaping onto your hands. So that's always a good thing. Now, conductors, these are going to be things that let heat pass through them. So like I said, metals are great conductors. So all of the things that you cook with, they're going to be made out of metal because it's going to let the heat transfer through it and go to your food. And that's a great example of it. Let's see. All right, so wood is a good example of a thermal insulator, and it can be used as a handle on a saucepan or even a wooden spoon. So a lot of people, when they cook, they have wooden spoons that they use to stir so that when you're holding it, that heat doesn't travel through the wood up to your hands. It actually is a protector. Remember I said insulators are protectors. All right. Now, conductors, we use metals to make objects we need that conduct heat well. So we have our saucepan here, and when we put it onto the stovetop, the heat goes right through the metal into our food and helps heat our food up quickly. All right. Now, if it's a good insulator, it's going to be a poor conductor, and it goes the opposite way too. If it's a good conductor, then it's going to be a bad insulator. So it's either one or the other. It's never both. All right. So there's a little bit about insulators and conductors. Tomorrow, I'm going to have a little experiment that I want you to try. And I know you probably won't have all of these types of spoons. And so I'm going to have you search around your house for an object so you can already start looking for it. If you have these kinds of spoons, perfect. But we're going to be looking for wooden spoon, plastic spoon, and metal spoon. And if you don't have all of those, then you can find something that's just made out of wood, maybe like a pencil. Or if you don't have a plastic spoon, you can just find something plastic to use. Something that can get wet, because we're going to be using water too. All right, so whatever you find that's wooden, plastic, or metal, you need to make sure that it can get wet. All right, so start thinking about that for tomorrow. I have a little experiment for y'all.